Usually when you think of Thanksgiving, you usually think about family, food, maybe peace, I don't know. You think of all that stuff. When I think of Thanksgiving, I think of murder.
But a crooked little town, they were lost and never found. Fallen leaves on the ground.
Okay, now story in SplatterHouse is actually not that bad. I wasn't expecting a great story. I was expecting just blood. Really, I was expecting blood, carnage, and all that. And I got that, definitely, but I'll talk about that more later. But I actually got a okay story. Not a great one, but a pretty good one. The story follows Rick, who is the main guy. You know, he's with his girlfriend Jen, and they're going to this creepy little mansion because for some reason, Jen, his girlfriend, has to go there and meet up with this guy named Dr. West for whatever reason. They go there, Rick gets murdered by demons, and Jen gets captured by Dr. West. And before Rick actually dies, he actually comes in encounter with this mask, and he doesn't know what it is, but the mask is talking to him, and the mask says, if you put me on, I will save your girlfriend. Just put me on and kill things, pretty much. He puts it on, and pretty much he has the voice in his head the whole entire game, and really, it's a pretty good story. It's all just him going through different, like, realms and stuff, killing demons, going through his house, and just killing demons, and it's a pretty okay story. Not great, but it's pretty good overall. So I like the story. I know, Splatterhouse wasn't expecting a great story, but I actually got some really cool characters like the actual Mask. The Mask is actually a pretty good character, and I know a Mask is a pretty good character, but yeah, Rick not a bad character, and Jen not a bad character, and even Dr. West, he's kind of creepy. So yeah, there you go. Good story. Let's go into the sound of the game. Okay, now the sound in the game overall is actually really, really good. But there is some problems here and there. Like some of the sound effects are a little bland. Most of them are just used over and over again, and sometimes it's really annoying to hear them being used over and over again. Definitely would have beat them up like this, where you're just beating up people or demons, and it kind of gets annoying. But the environmental effects themselves, like you'll hear like people screaming in the background, it sounds really creepy. The soundtrack is actually really good, heavy metal, so it definitely suits the game. And the voice acting's especially pretty good. Definitely from the guy who voices the Terror Mask. He's really, really good. So overall, sound pretty good. Let's go on to the graphics. Okay, now the graphics in Splatterhouse are actually really good. I know, I've said that for the last two categories, but really, they're actually really good. They do have a few problems, like the environments are pretty bland sometimes. Some of them are actually really good, like mostly like the really gory ones, like freaking intestines hanging off freaking walls and stuff, and people hanging with their guts hanging out or something. Those environments look really cool because that's blood, so anything with blood looks really cool. But which is not true, but really they do actually look pretty good. But the ones where it's just like a room with maybe some blood here and there, they kind of look bland. But what I really like is the character models in this game. They have a cel-shaded look to them, but Rick looks pretty badass with his freaking terror mask version of himself. He reminded me a lot of Brick from Borderlands. If you ever played Borderlands, it looks a lot like that because Borderlands also was a cel-shaded looking game. But also, like Borderlands, it was cel shaded, but if you look very far away from it, you could it definitely looked like it was real graphics, like it wasn't using cel shaded graphics. Just like this game, the environments themselves don't look very cel shaded, but the character models themselves do. And the character models, including the enemies and, like I said, Rick, look really, really cool. And some of the special effects look really nice, like some of the upgrades that you get for Rick cause like freaking spikes to come out of the ground, or him to transform when he goes berserk or something, and that all looks really cool. So the special effects look really good, the character models look good, but some of the environments look pretty bland, but some of them are really cool. So overall, the graphics are pretty good overall. So I like to say overall, by the way. So let's go on to the gameplay of this game. Okay, now the gameplay in Splatterhouse, I'm actually going to keep this short. Usually I talk about gameplay for a long stretch of time, but really all this is a beat 'em up. So you've played this before. It's beat up characters a whole bunch. You do some cool combos that you unlock here and there when you get enough points, and you pretty much unload those combos and freaking kill, kill, kill. Definitely in this game, because this is probably one of the most bloodiest games out there. I mean, there's gore everywhere. If you punch one guy, he'll explode into thousands of pieces, and you can even pick up their body parts and use those as weapons. You also get some other weapons, like you get like a shotgun, you get a freaking swords and freaking 2x4s and bats and all that stuff. I was drawing a blank there. Whew. And really, it's a lot of fun. You're probably thinking, oh, you're just saying it's like a generic beat 'em up, right? Well, I haven't played a 3D beat 'em up game like this in a little while, so I was really happy to see something like this again. The last one that I played that was pretty much a beat 'em up, or you know what, I wouldn't even call it a beat 'em up game, God of War. And it's really a hack and slash game. This is more of a hack and slash game, that one, but you know, it has its platforming and puzzles and all that. This really is just a beat 'em up game, so it's beat 'em, beat 'em, beat 'em up. And it's actually a lot of fun. Besides that, you get the single player is about 8 to 9 hours, so you know it's pretty good length. You also get some collectibles. You can go back and find those collectibles like photos and audio files. Those are pretty cool to listen to and look at. Definitely the photos. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But really, some of the stuff you collect is actually pretty good. So you know you might actually want to go back and listen to some of these audio files and stare at these pictures for about 10 minutes. So, you know, that's really cool. You also get like some freaking challenge rooms, which I tried. You know, it's just beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, and you keep going until you die. Or I think you even finish the challenge room, but I only tried it once. I failed, so I'm not really completely sure. You also get the original 3 SplatterHouse games, which is really cool, but you have to actually play the single-player game to unlock them. So if you're thinking, oh, you go get them you go get them unlocked right off the bat. Sorry, not really. So you have to play the game to get all 3 of them. But really, the game itself is a lot of fun. You get a lot of combos. Not extremely a lot, but pretty good for just a straight beat 'em up game. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's bloody as hell. It's fun as hell. It gets frustrating at sometimes, and some of the little platforming segments that they have here are kind of annoying. It even goes back to a 2D side scroller sometimes, which is kind of cool, but also kind of annoying sometimes when you're doing some platforming. But really, it's still a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend it for a rental, but not for a $60 purchase. If you have $60 and you're like, you know what, I love Splatterhouse, I love brawlers, then maybe go pick it up. But if you're like me, then definitely rent it, and if you really love it, then go buy it. So there you go, there's my review. Check the description in the bottom for the written review, and yeah, thank you and goodbye.